I was told that I have a couple weeks to file a formal complaint about this incident. They've identified the person who's done this, but without the victim testimony, they can't move forward. Earlier this year at the G20 in Hamburg, I found myself in a bit of a controversy as someone had accused me of being alt-right, posted my photos, and it led to me, among other people, being essentially forced to leave out of threats to our safety. Some of the journalists that I know who were there got beat up. I'm gonna leave out some of the names, but Luke Rudkowski was there, there's another guy named Max, Lauren Southern was there. Many other journalists had been working on the ground, and at some point we had been hanging out with. This resulted in some of those journalists getting attacked. But let's start from the beginning. So the G20, it's the 20 largest economies. They get together every so often and have these big meetings. Often large groups of anti-capitalist and anti-fascist protesters show up. And this was the Welcome to Hell protest, one of the largest gatherings of a black bloc in history. Thousands of people, there was rioting, there were people hitting each other, water cannons. It was particularly intense. At some point, I was walking and talking with a journalist named Max, and not really about a whole lot. It's someone I had met briefly at one point, and I saw him there. And this is usually what happens. Journalists who cover the same beat will see each other, and so sure enough, Luke Rudkowski, Lauren Southern, this guy Max are there. I'm there of my own volition, on my own, with my own plans, and so are many other journalists. Most notably, as I mentioned, was Lauren, Luke, there and many others, but I'll leave their names out. And someone who describes themselves as an anti-fascist journalist took a picture where you see me and Max are talking. Behind me is Lauren Southern walking in a different direction, and in the foreground to the left of the photo is Luke Rudkowski. Lauren Southern was wearing a Phalanx Europa shirt, which is an identitarian shirt. So naturally, when they saw her and took photos of her, they were not happy. The anti-fascists, the black bloc people in Germany were very angry that somebody would be wearing a shirt like that and walk around the protest. Now, I was not there with Lauren or Luke or anything like that. I was there of my own accord, working by myself. What other journalists do is their own business. In this photo, I'm not even walking and talking with Lauren. She was just walking behind us in a different direction. This journalist then accused all of us of being white nationalists, alt-right, posted this photo, started sharing information with other activist groups, resulting in a few of us having to flee. Some journalists who were not even in the photo ended up getting attacked. And they've published videos about it, people screaming Nazi pig at them because someone pointed them out and accused them of being a Nazi. Luke was attacked. He posted a video about this. Luke and Max were physically attacked by people who didn't even know who they are. In this video, you can see people yelling Nazi at them, and then other people sitting down just run up and start punching them too, clearly having no idea what's going on or who these people are. So I ultimately decided that I wasn't going to stick around and cover the fray, the massive black bloc protests, just because the danger to myself and others, and that I felt I could be more effective covering other angles of the story. But ultimately, look, when you have thousands of people sharing your photo, calling you a Nazi, and threatening you online, it's better just say, okay, look, leave today, live to fight another day. I ended up doing a video with Lauren about this. It was pretty damn crazy. As we were leaving, because we were being targeted essentially, there were people on side streets away from the protest who were posting Lauren's location. The whole thing was just 1984-esque. People in their homes, looking at their windows. I don't know who was posting or how, but as we were leaving, blocks away from the protest on side streets, people were tweeting her location. We all ended up leaving. Many journalists stuck around and were fine, but all in all, I'd say the group that was with us may have been 12 or so people. And again, it's not that we're working together or that we're all together, it's just journalists are all in the same place, we know who each other are, we'll talk to each other. So there was a large group that was, meeting up here and there and talking, and some of us were identified as white nationalists. Now this brings me to today. Recently I was contacted by German police informing me that it is a crime to publish someone's photo without their permission in Germany. I was told that I have a couple weeks to file a formal complaint about this incident. They've identified the person who's done this, but without the victim testimony, they can't move forward. I understand that by even talking about it, it may compromise the case. So we'll take that into consideration as I move forward. But the philosophical conundrum that I'm facing is whether or not to actually file a formal complaint, a criminal complaint against this man. So here's the situation. I firmly believe as a journalist that I have a right to film in public, that if you are out in public doing whatever, I can film that, and if you're in that photo, that's not my responsibility, it's not my fault. That's your responsibility. You have no reasonable expectation of privacy when you're out in public. In the United States, journalists have a right to film in public and can't be removed or shut down. One of the most common tactics we see from Antifa and other far-left activists is saying you do not have permission to film and you need it. That is just not true. If I'm going out to a protest and I film and you're on camera, too bad. Wear a mask if you're legally allowed to. But in this instance, I am allowed to film. It is my right as a journalist. Again, you have no expectation of privacy. In Germany, this is not the case. The local law states that you cannot publish someone's photo without their permission. So if I were to agree to press charges against this person because they took my photo in public and published it, that would go against my values and what I believe should be a universal right. At the same time, this person took a photo of me out of context, accusing me of being a white nationalist and with other white nationalists, just not true, in an attempt to get me seriously hurt. It was irresponsible, it was deceitful, and to an extent, I would say it was actually manipulative, it was evil. This is somebody who wants to push their political ideology to the point where they're going to falsely accuse others of being Nazis, of being alt-right, when it is just fake. So here is the issue. I have to decide whether or not I adhere to the local law and say, look, in the United States, yes, we have this right, but in Germany you don't, and this guy broke the law. Furthermore, he lied about me to get me hurt, in which case the police should investigate and prosecute based on local law. Or do I say that I don't feel that this is a just law? I feel that no matter where you are, you have a right to be a journalist and publish information, even if you are a bad journalist. I worry that in 20 or 30 years, we might come to a point where you're not allowed to be a journalist. You're not allowed to film in public because people say, they put their hand in front of your camera and say you have no legal right to film or record. I don't want to contribute to that. So right now I'm leaning a bit towards not pressing charges. But there's been I've talked to a lot of people about this, and there have been some interesting counterpoints. Mostly that, look, you have to respect local law and local culture. And if Germany says this is a crime, you need to respect that and file a complaint. People are telling me, look, it's not about you. It's about the fact that this person broke a law in Germany, and these laws exist to protect other people too. So by not filing a complaint, by not pursuing this, I'm negatively impacting the local culture to an extent. People have also brought up that this person lied. They published fake news in order to get people seriously hurt. And so this would be a means to say, look, you can't do this. You can't publish someone's photo without their permission and lie about them. But then there's the bigger picture. As our cultures continue to mesh and merge, are we going to see the US view of the press become more like Germany, to which journalism just doesn't work anymore and I can't go out in the street and film? Or does the inverse happen? Either way, it is against my personal ethics to shut someone down, to shut down journalism simply because they need permission in public. I side with the US view on this one. But is that my right? I'm not German. Germany has its own laws. I have a few weeks to decide, and again, I'm leaning towards probably not filing a complaint and pursuing this because, look, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I think you have a right to film in public. It doesn't matter what country. But I'm doing this video as a sort of, this is an interesting topic, and I think it should be talked about because it has a lot to do with international borders, Western culture, and fake news. And something can be done here. This person who's an anti-fascist journalist could get in trouble, or potentially already is in trouble, for breaking the law. Lastly, I'll just reiterate that I understand talking about this could compromise the case. It is what it is, but without bringing it up and presenting it to the community, I wouldn't be able to move forward anyway. So this is the best that I can do. Comment below and let me know how you feel about this, and we will keep the conversation going. Yes, I will read your comments. I can't respond to every single one, but I do read through them as much as I can, and I'm looking for thoughts and opinions on how this should be handled. What are your opinions? Does an international free press trump local criminal law, or should I uphold the local law and say, yes, this was a crime? So comment below. and then I'll make my decision shortly. If you want to support my work, you can go to timcast.com/donate. Give whatever you'd like or give nothing at all. My videos are always free and available every day at 4 p.m. And if you want to follow my work for breaking news and live streams from around the world, I'm on Twitter at timcast. Check out my second channel. I've been plugging it at the end of every video so far because I'm going to be producing more content. It's a bit irreverent and may just be tech or lifestyle. It's just a place where I can produce things that I feel like would not fit on my main channel. So check that out in the link below. It's youtube.com/timcastnews. And stay tuned because I will be back tomorrow, and I will see you all then.